So today we'll discuss about how to access the SAP system and how to log in and how to open any application. Okay, what is transaction code, and we'll try to write one programs, some basic programs. Okay, now
Okay, sir.
so this is called SAP GUI. This is called SAP GUI. Okay, so what is the use of this SAP GUI? We configure different SAP servers in this SAP GUI and we can log in. Okay, we can log in into the SAP system. To access SAP
How to know
system,
which version it is, sir?
yeah, you can see it here, SAP logon 720. This is the 720 version.
Okay.
Okay, so this is logon SAP logon pad version. I'll show you how to find version of the SAP ERP. Okay, what is the version of the SAP ERP? I'll show you how to find it. But this is the SAP logon pad version. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and I'll show you how to find backend database of the system and what is the version of the system. Okay, now observe here, to access your SAP system, what you have to do, you have to configure, first you have to configure your SAP logon pad. You have to install this SAP GUI or SAP logon pad, and you have to configure all the connections. Okay, here you can see many systems, right? Why we need these many systems? We are going to develop programs in one server, then why there are multiple servers in any logon pad? I'll give you a small example.
For development quality
Yeah, you're right.
testing.
I'll give you some brief introduction about the SAP Project Landscape. So, in any SAP projects, there will be three different systems. Dev,
Production.
test,
Testing
or QA.
quality.
Okay.
Okay, and prod. Prod means production. Okay, in some projects there might be another system like user acceptance system kind of systems, that is part of QA process, testing process. But in general, most of the projects contains this landscape. This is called SAP Project Landscape. It is also very common interview question. They'll ask you what is your project landscape. So in any project there will be a development system where developers will work on their development objects like creating programs or enhancements, or functional people will configure the system. They create the configurations, and we need to, once it is completed, we need to release or we need to apply all those changes to test system, right? Here testing team will validate our applications whether it is working correctly or not. They do different test scenarios, and they let us know whether is there any defects or is it working fine or not. If it is working fine, what is the next step? If our application is working as expected, what is the next step? We have to move that from test system to
Quality to production.
production system. Production system is a go live system where the actual business is running. Okay. So after proper approvals from your project managers or from the client side people, we have to release those applications to production go live system. Okay. That is the process. Let's say in QA team found some issues, found some errors in our application. What we need to do? Again, we have to fix that program in development system and we need to release one more change to fix the issues. Okay. Our new changes will be again applied to test system. Again, the testing team will do the testing. Since still there are some errors, then what we need to do again, development team will log in into the development system and change those programs or fix those programs and release one more time and apply changes one more time until the issue got resolved. Then once all issues are resolved, whatever the changes in this scenario we have released three times, right? All these three change requests we have to apply to production system. Okay, clear?
Okay, sir.
That's how happens. Usually we have a name for all the systems. For example, uh, for development system, some DS1, test system, XS1, prod system, PS1, like this. Every project, every client's project contains this kind of names. Okay, we call it development system, we call as DS1, test system we call as XS1, production system we call as PS1. But that doesn't mean that everyone should follow the same namings, but it depends on the customer to customer. These names will be different. Okay, clear? Now, so this is the remote desktop connection I'm using to connect the SAP server. Okay, so if you have SAP GUI in your laptop, you can also configure the SAP server and we can access it like this. Just double click on it. It will open the SAP server. Okay. So this is remote desktop connection I've taken. We don't need to install anything in our laptop. Okay. If you have internet, you can connect to that IP address and you can access the SAP server for your practice. Okay. So this is the SAP logon pad which is already installed in this server. Here if you see, these are all already configured. One ECC system, I've already told you ECC system is the previous version of S4 HANA, right? Which can support any database. Later, SAP introduced HANA database. HANA is an in-memory database. Performance-wise, HANA database is best suited for the SAP applications. So 2020 version is there and 2021 version is there. In logon pad, the servers are already configured. For example, if you need to add a new server, what you need to do? First, let's see what are the details available in this configuration. Select this ECC and click on change. So description, system ID, instance number, and this is application server. This is nothing but IP address kind of thing. Okay. In some servers you can see IP address also. This application server. These are already configured. So who's going to provide these details? Your system admin. Your system admin or basis team is going to provide these details to configure this logon pad. But in most of the projects, right, you don't need to create this configuration. They'll be automatically available in the SAP logon pad. The basis team will automatically configure these systems using a configuration file. Okay, but sometimes we may need to create it. How to create it? Click on this create or new connection to create new server in your logon pad to access a new server. Next, ECC underscore 2. Description can be anything. Okay, what is the system ID? These details should be accurate. VAS. Instance number, is it 20, 20 or 02? I don't remember. And enter the application server, SAP SLT, finish. Click on finish. That's it. Now, new server got added to SAP logon pad. Double click on this. It is working, right? That's how you need to add new server to your logon pad. Okay. So logon pad is mandatory to access SAP, right? Now, I'll show you one more thing. Please observe the screen. Please observe the screen and different navigation options. And let me show you this one. They're all different, right? Screen looks different, right? That screen and this server screen.
Yes, yes.
That is
Yes,
that
different.
is only because of the settings. That doesn't mean that there are different versions of the servers or different types of systems. Only that is only because of the
Because of the servers
GUI settings.
settings.
We can change the settings to display similar kind of screen with all the buttons and everything. Okay, here in options, in GUI options, we have, where is it, accessibility, I think. Oh, yeah, visual design. We have it in visual design and go to themes. What is the theme that we have here? Quad theme. Uh, there is, let's try this blue crystal. Now it's changed, right?
So,
Now it is displaying in a different theme. Okay. If you go back to quad theme, it is different, right? So many people, like I used to observe, people used to confuse. So in my previous project, I worked on a different screen, but it is all different here. Nothing different. Okay. If you want, you can change the theme, blue crystal theme. Okay. Now let's log in. Let's log in into S4 HANA server. So system ID is A4H. Server ID is S4 2022. Usually we can see IP address also here. Double click on it. It will open the server. What you can find here? Client number,
800.
client number, username, password, and login language. These four details you are able to find here, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's discuss about each one in detail. What is client? Client is a logical partition of the SAP system. Logical partition of the SAP system. One system might contain different clients. For example, in dev DS1, we have client 100, client 101 till 900, some 900, I think. We have these client numbers. What is the use of this client number? So the data which is available in one client, that is not available for the other client. Those two clients are different. These are logical partitions. Okay. In development system, if you see one client, we are going to use for development, creating programs or creating the SAP applications. The other client 101, we use 101 client for unit testing. What is unit testing? Unit testing is performed by the developer. It's a basic testing by developer. Okay. Once he created the application, the developer itself will do unit testing to check whether the program is working or not. A very basic testing. Okay. Not a complete testing. Unit testing is a basic testing done by developer. Once the unit testing is completed, he'll move that change to testing system. In test system, QA team will do the complete testing. Okay. So who will do the unit testing?
Developer.
Developer. Yeah, maybe in some projects they don't follow that process of unit testing, but it is highly recommended to do unit testing by yourself. Once you create an application, test yourself whether it is working fine or not. Okay?
As per requirement, yes, sir.
Yeah, because if there is any issues, you can find it even before moving it to QA system. If you do the unit testing system. Yeah. So we are talking about clients, right? Yeah, one system can contain multiple clients. So one client is for development, the another client is for unit testing. In unit testing client, they maintain proper data for testing. Okay, that is one context of the client. But what is a client number? Or what is a client? It is a logical partition. It is a logical partition of the SAP system. Clear? For example, if you take this is some Tata Group SAP system. Let's assume this as a Tata Group SAP system. One client they can use for one business, the other client they can use for different business. This is client number 100, 101. We have many clients. This is 800. Usually 800 is a demo client. Okay. So 101 is so this is the SAP ERP system of the Tata Group. And in this SAP ERP system, they configured multiple clients. One client they are using for Tata cars, and the other client they are using for Tata Steel, and the other client they are using for Chroma and Tata Chemicals. Now, let's see. I've login the Tata cars employee login using client number 100, and he create the business data in client number 100. The data server is same, tables are same, programs are same, right? The entire server application server is same. Even the database server is common to all these clients. Tables, whatever these clients are accessing, also common to all these. But whatever the data creating for this Tata Cars company, that data, can we see it in client number 101? We cannot access, the Tata Steel employees cannot access that data, whatever Tata Cars employees are creating in their system using client number 100. So client number 101 is for Tata Steel. Okay. So they can see only the data whatever created in client number 101. They cannot see data created in client number 100 because there is a logical partition. System is same, but there is a logical partition. Okay. And whatever the data created in this Chroma company for 102, the data is specific to only this client. The other clients cannot access this data, cannot see the data. Okay. For example, Chroma guys created a new employee in their client number in the system. That employee details cannot be available for the other clients. That is only specific to 102. Okay. So the client is a logical partition of the system. So that's why we need to provide client number here before login. What is the instance? What is the client instance you want to access? Okay. So one company employee will do 800, the other company employee will do 801, 802, like that. Okay. So for every user should have a user ID and password. In our instance, like this is the user ID and I am entering the password. Enter the client number, user ID, password, and there is one more option, language, login language. Can you guess what is this?
English. Script language.
Sorry, what is it? Script language?
For script language, client everything will be
Hmm.
shown in the language that which we
Yeah, let
select.
me log in using EN. EN means English. Let me log in. So observe these menu options. SAP Easy Access, menu, edit, favorites, extra, system, help, accounting, services, web tools. I'm logging off. I'm logging again. Let me log in again. Now let me change the language to JP. JP means Japan, Japanese language. Okay. Click on enter. Okay. JP is not defined. This Japanese language is not configured. Let me try D. D means German. Okay. D means German language. Now can you observe the menu options?
Yes. Menu generator.
It is in German, right? It is in, at least it is in different
Yes,
language,
sir.
not in English, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
what can we understand from this? So SAP can support multiple languages because if they designed the SAP product, if they designed only it in English, only the people who can understand the English can use it, right? If you
Yes,
go
yes.
to Saudi Arabic countries or Japan, most of them don't know English. Okay, they do daily business in their native languages. If you go to China, they don't use English, they use Chinese only. If SAP restrict the software only in English navigations, they're going to lose the business, right? They can't market in other countries or other users. So that's why SAP designed the product, the CRP product, which is compatible for many languages. Okay, so the user can read all the options in their native languages. Before login, the user has to provide the login language so that the user can access all the applications in that native language, whatever the language they want. Okay, so when we are writing applications also as a ABAP developer, when we are writing programs also, we need to keep in mind that we have to allow the options to or we need to allow, we have to provide options to automatically convert our whatever the messages into different languages. Depends on the login language. We'll discuss like how do we handle that. We'll discuss in the next sessions. But are we clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Client user ID password login. Okay,
Okay.
so in the table all these languages will be available. All again, it's a master data.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is the initial screen. From here you can navigate to different applications using this favorites menu. Using this favorites menu, you can create the favorites menu and you can navigate to different applications. So in these favorites, these are all already configured as favorites. If you see in logistics, material management, purchasing, purchase orders, we have create purchase order navigation. What is the use of this? The users can create purchase orders using this. Click on one transaction code. ME22N is the transaction code for that. Most of the applications in SAP, we use transaction codes to access it. Okay. For example, how can you open Gmail? By
The
using,
email
by,
ID
by,
and the
by
password.
typing, yeah,
Gmail.com.
by using, by typing gmail.com, right? Similarly,
Yes, sir.
here in SAP, we type transaction code to
Two
open a
codes.
specific application. Okay. So this is purchase order creation application. Here you can see in the right bottom corner, you can see these details. What is the transaction code? ME22N. Client,
And with the
user,
800.
the logged in
Yes.
client, and what is the program? Transaction code is just like navigation, some shortcut. You can take it as some shortcut. If you are typing gmail.com, that doesn't mean that that is a program, right? Program will be in background that will
Yes, sir.
execute. Okay. So this is the program. This is the standard program. Observe this. This is the
Yes,
standard
sir.
program
SAP.
provided by SAP
SAP.
as part of SAP ERP product. Otherwise, You can type here ME
22N.
20 22N is to change the purchase order. 22N.
Create 21. ME 21.
Yeah, here in command prompt, you can type the transaction code. Okay. Let's say I've already opened one transaction code, right? I'm in one transaction code, ME22N screen,
Yes, sir.
and I have to open one more transaction code. In addition to this, I want one more transaction code. How can you open? If I just type like
Slash
this,
slash n
yeah,
slash o slash o if you want to the next screen.
yeah. If we just open like, if you just type like this, it won't work because we are already in one transaction code, right? We are not in
Yes, sir.
initial screen. To open in a new session, we have to use
Slash o.
slash o slash o me
ME 21.
23n. Yeah, maybe 23n is to display the purchase order.
Okay.
Enter. It will display in a separate screen,
New screen.
but we still have the previous one. ME22N is still there. We are not closing it, but we are opening a new session. ME23N. Okay,
Yes, sir.
by using slash o and the transaction code. If we use slash n
It will
ME
close and open in the same screen. 21.
21n. If you use slash n, it will close the current application. It closed 22n application and it's open new instance or new session. Okay, that is slash n. But if you are in initial screen, you don't need to do anything. Just type ME
Give the T code.
21n, just T code. But if you are already in some other application, use slash n or slash o. If you want to close the current application and open a new application, use slash n.
Slash
And if you want to keep the current application and open the new application, use slash o.
slash o.
That's it. Now, so this is a functional transaction code. Usually, as a developers, we don't use this transaction code ME21 and 22n, but just at the time of unit testing, we may use it. But usually, functional people will work on these transaction codes. So for developers, there are separate transaction codes. That is SE38 for ABAP consultants. What is this transaction code? This we called as ABAP editor or ABAP workbench, where we create new
Reports.
applications or new programs. Okay, custom programs. All the custom programs we create here. So I've already told you SAP has provided many standard applications, right? For example, so this program is a SAP standard program provided by SAP. This is a SAP standard program, right? This starts with some SAP or something. How can you find or how can you create custom objects? All the custom objects in SAP should start with
Z.
Z.
Z or Y. All the custom objects should start with Z or Y. Okay, name will be like this, Z demo underscore. Example, if you are writing a program related to sales one, SD underscore sales report. Okay, your program, your application should starts with Z. If you are if you are developing a custom
New
application,
program.
Z or Y, you can also use Y. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
For most of the custom objects, custom, that might be a custom table That might be a custom program. Whatever it is, most of the custom objects will start with Z or Y. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear on that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, as a ABAP developer, we should access only specific transaction codes to develop the applications. One of such transaction code is SC38. Most commonly used transaction code is SC38. Here we create the custom programs or access the standard programs provided by SAP. Okay, that is SC38. Let me show you. Okay, now I need to go to another transaction. How I need to type? Now I am in SC38 application. Now I need to navigate to a different transaction code. Tell me how I need to type in command
Second
prompt. Slash
slash
O
Slash
slash
n slash o
yeah
n
SC11.
or
slash
S11.
O S11.
S11.
Yeah. So S11 we call it as ABAP data dictionary. ABAP data dictionary, by using ABAP data dictionary we can access tables of the SAP. Where the tables reside? Where can,
Database.
where can you find the
In the
tables?
database, ta-
Yeah,
In
in
the
the
in the
database
database
table.
database
server.
table.
In the database server. By using this data dictionary, you can access tables in the database server. You can create the new tables. You can access the existing tables. Okay, by using this SAP data dictionary. Not only tables, there are many options like views and everything. Basically, we can access all the SAP tables using this interface. That is ABAP data dictionary. But tables are not use where the tables actually available. That's in the database layer. Okay, but this data dictionary executes in application layer and works as an interface between application layer and database layer. So using this, we can access the database tables. That might be a so all the standard tables are provided by SAP as part of the standard solutions. If the existing solution is not suitable, we can create our own tables. We can create our own applications, which should starts with Z or Y.
ZRY.
Okay. Now, how to access tables? EKKO or KNA1. What is KNA1 table? Type the KNA1. KNA1 table is a customer master data table. These are all the table fields. These are all the table
Table
fields.
fields.
How many fields we have? 269 fields. Okay. And we have
Yes.
key means primary key. Every table should have a primary key, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'll explain these details in the next class. Okay, when we are discussing about tables. I'll So to display the data, click on this contents. Whatever the data stored in the table, you can access here using contents. So this table is designed for customer master data, customer ID, customer name, customer address, like this. So number of entries, click on number of entries. Server is a bit slow. We have 343
343.
records in this table. If you open this, if you execute this is the execution button. So you can find records, customer ID 8, Bharat Infraline, this is the address. Okay, you can find the customer master data here. Okay, clear? Similarly, for each data, for each functionality, a different table is available. When we start working on the system, you can come to know about different tables. Okay, Earlier we have used one transaction code, right? What is the transaction code?
EKK.
ME21,
ME21.
ME21, yes.
purchase order transaction code. So for that application, what are the tables designed? EKKO. This is the table designed for that purchase order application. Whatever the data you enter in that screen, right? Where that is going to save?
In the EKQ.
In EKKO, and there are multiple
EKPO.
tables. EKKO,
EKPO.
EKPO,
EKPO.
EKPO.
and there are many tables. One application might contain many tables. These two are the important tables for purchase order data. Okay. Similarly, if you are developing a custom application, what we need to do? We need to design a program with screen, and we need to design the backend tables to store the data. Okay.
Okay.
Now I am in the initial screen, and you guys have asked me, right, how to find the version of the system and everything.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I'm in the initial screen. Go to system, utilities, not utilities. Yeah, maybe it is available in SC38. No, sorry, system status. Go to system.
Status.
No, go to initial screen. System status. Go to the initial screen. System status.
Status.
So these are the user details, login user details, and this is the previous login date. What is this? This is system time.
Time. How much time did you use?
No, 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 no. What is the current time of the system?
Okay, okay.
System time. Okay. This is
Yes,
the,
sir.
sorry, system, yeah, this is the system time. Yes. CET means some central time zone system time. Time will be different by different time zones, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the current time zone system time. Maybe this is IST. CET, Central European time might be. This is some European time.
Okay.
That is still 3 a.m. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And if you scroll down, SAP system data. Click on this. What are these? To find the exact
Version.
version, you have to check ABAP, ABAP
Yes, sir.
component. What is the version of the ABAP component? That is 75Z.
7.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
75.
So that we can identify that is 7.5 or 750, right?
Yes, sir.
So remaining are different component versions. But if you want to know the ABAP application server, this is the version. Okay.
Okay.
So 7.5G means it might be 7.5, 7.5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
7.5 version. So again, we have different add-ons also. Okay. What is
Yes,
this?
sir.
SAP
Ah,
on-premise. SAP on-premise release 2021. This is entire system version, not the ABAP instance. This is an entire system version. What is the S4 HANA version? S4
2021.
HANA on-premise 2021. Okay. This is how you can check this. Service
Okay.
pack 13. Now scroll down. What is host data? This is application server. Host data is application server.
Applications. Okay.
On which operating system that application is running? Application server is running
Linux.
Linux
Yes.
operating
Linux.
system. This is the server IP address, maybe server name. Okay. This is the database, backend database. What is the database?
Team.
HDB. HDB
HDB,
means
HDB.
HANA database. Release is 2.0. HANA 2.0. Backend database is HANA 2.0. Okay. Schema is this. You can find the database details here. If you go to ECC, go to system. I'm in ECC server now. Go to system status. This is host data, application server data. This is installed on Windows NT. This is database. What is the database using for this ECC system?
MSQL.
MS SQL.
MSSQL.
MS SQL
MSSQL.
server. Okay. If you click here, you can see the system versions.
7.5. Add-on servers.
This is SAP ERP 6.0.
6.0. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll create a basic program, a simple program. What is the transaction code to create the programs?
SC38.
38.
SC38 is the transaction code. Type SC38. So we are creating a new program, right? That means it's a custom program. So it should starts with Z or Y,
GRY.
right?
Yes.
Always remember, whenever you are giving a name to the program, that should follow proper naming standards. Again, it will create with any name which starts with Z, but it is recommended to use proper naming. Depends on the
Okay.
program functionality. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Z demo. Can I create like this? Z demo space test space program. Can I create like this
No,
using
space
spaces?
should not be used.
Yeah, it won't allow spaces. Use underscore or use this combined statement. But that doesn't make any sense to use a single line. Underscore. Use underscore to break into multiple words. And create. Click on create. You have to select the source code and click on create. What is the what is this title? Program title. Provide the program title. Demo
Program.
program. And there are different types of programs. Different types of programs are here. Executable program, include program, module pool, many programs. But for now, we are
Executable.
going to create a executable program which can execute independently and provide the output. Okay, simple
Yes, sir.
executable program can execute independently and provide the output. Okay, we'll see the rest of the program times in next sessions. Click on save. What it is expecting when I click on save? It
Package.
is expecting a
Package.
Package.
package. It is expecting a package.
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 Package is nothing but, for now, just remember, in the next sessions I'll explain more technical details of it. For now, just remember, package is kind of folder where you're going to save your objects. For example, for sales related objects, you are going to save in one package, and finance related objects you are going to save in another package, and HR related objects you are going to save in a different package. Okay.
Okay.
And when you are working in project, right, they have to provide the package name what you need to use. Okay.
Okay.
If you click on here, this is called F4. If you click on here, it will display all available packages in the system. Click on this, or you can also click on F4. This is called search help. So these are all the available packages in the SAP system. These are all standard packages. Observe, these are all standard packages. Can't find custom package. Let's search like this: Z
Okay.
star and F4. Click on F4 in the keyboard or click on OK. So these are all the custom packages created by different users. Okay.
Yes, sir.
These are all custom packages. So why we need to assign this to the package? If you don't assign this program to the package, you cannot transport it or you cannot release it to the test system. Okay.
Quality system, yes, sir.
So here you can observe local object.
Local object.
If you select this local object, it will save in a local package where you cannot transport or you cannot import this change or this changes to test system. You can only use it locally. For now I am using local object. What is the name of local package? $TMP. This is the name of local package, temporary local package. Whatever the objects you saved in this local package, right? You cannot transport it to test system and then to production system. Okay. First, for the few classes, we are going to use local package and then we'll start using the actual packages. For example, when you are working in a project, you accidentally save the program in a local package. Can we transport it to test system once you completed the development?
No, sir.
No, you cannot transport. But still, we can change the
Can
package later. Okay, if you
yes,
can go to the program and you can assign a new package. Okay, we can change the package and release to the test system. For now, I am using local package. Click on save, or you can just click on local object. Both are same. Providing $TMP or click on local object, both are same. Now observe what it is generated. It is generated one screen, editor screen, with by default it generated this report statement. Always remember, report statement should be the first statement of your program. Report program name. Okay, that should be the first statement of your program. Otherwise, your program is not going to work. Clear? And what is this? Why it is generated automatically? This is to see.
come back.
This is commented, like this is in commented section. You can provide some details of the program.
Program creation created by
Uh,
creation date.
yeah, everything you can maintain here. Who created it, when it is created, and what is the functionality of the program. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to execute? Is this section is going to execute when we are using the program? No, this
No,
part
no.
is not going to be executed because it is commented using the star. If you add star right in beginning for this report, I'm adding star. It is also commented. It is not going to be executed along with the source code. Okay. Remove star, or you can use control left arrow to comment, control right arrow
Left arrow to
to
uncomment.
uncomment, left, right. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
For example, there are multiple statements like this. Just select all of them and control left arrow. You can comment all at once. To uncomment, okay. You can also use one more thing. This one, double colon, to comment this. Okay. Like this also you can comment the code. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, so this is very important. Like even this is not going to, when you are working in the projects, right? We should maintain this. Even if it is not generated automatically, we have to maintain this and you have to provide the details of the program. Okay. Here, this is like some commented section, comment section. Now let's, so these are a few keywords, right? These are few keywords what we are using in ABAP. What is the data keyword? Data keyword is used to define data objects which can store data temporarily in the program runtime. Okay, so these data objects can store data temporarily in the program runtime. We'll see that in the next session. What are the different data objects and how we can define the data objects. For now, we'll go with the write statement. What is the write statement? Write statement is
Wait,
used to display the output. Right? Demo program in single quotes. Okay, whatever the hard coded text, this kind of text we call as hard coded text. Whatever the hard coded text, you should always enclose with your single quotes.
Single arrow.
Okay. Okay, now I've created a statement. Now what is the next step? Save the program, or you can use Control S. Check. This is the syntax check. This is the syntax check of the program. What is the shortcut? Control F2. Control F2 are the shortcut for syntax check. What is this?
Activate.
Activate. Control F3 is the shortcut for activation. What is the status of the current status of the program?
Inactive.
Inactive state.
inactive.
So we cannot execute this. It won't work. First do the syntax check. Is there any errors? No
No.
syntax
No.
errors found in report. Activate it. The program is active now.
Activate.
Okay. Now execute or click on F8. F8 or execute. Click on this symbol. So this is the output. Demo program is the output. What is this? This is program title.
Program type.
This is program title. Or we can change it. First program. By mistake, I did some syntax error. Like I typed it. Uh, there is some typing issue in writing statement. Now let's see how it will work.
Check.
Check the syntax. What it is saying?
Error.
It
Error.
displayed
Write
the error.
A is not
It
expected.
displayed the error. On which line?
8
Eighth line.
Line number 8. What is the
message.
error? The statement write A is not expected. A correct similar statement is write.
Statement is
It is proposing. Okay, this
Error
may not be
message.
a correct statement. There is another similar statement. Can you try that? It is
Right.
suggesting. The system is automatically suggesting. Okay, if I click on this error, it will automatically take me to that line where the error is coming from. I can change it. Check the syntax. Again, I changed it. Now check the syntax again. Again, I got this error. Now, correct errors. This option, what it will do? It will automatically correct that error. Click on this, correct errors. It is corrected, right? It is
Yes, sir.
automatically corrected with the correct syntax. Check and activate. Click on execute F8. So this is the output. I can use some colors also using color. From 0 to 7, we have different color codes. We can use any color code. I'm using one. Activate the program. Whenever you do the changes, do the syntax check and activate it. First program. Okay. I'm changing again. Changing again. Save.
Activate and
Check.
execute.
Activate. It will display in yellow color. For color code 3, it is yellow. I'm changing it to 2 and I'm trying to execute. I did not save it. Try to execute. What it is saying is inactive. Please save and activate. Okay.
Now execute. Sir, are those color codes same for all the systems?
Yeah, all the systems it is same. Okay. 0 to 7.
Okay, sir.
You can use color codes from 0 to 7. So now I am able to print only one message, right? If I need to print two messages, two different messages, I need to use
The same redshift
I'll
printer.
print the date. I'll print the date also. I'll print the date also. How to print the date? In SAP, we have system variables to print the dates. That is S5 hyphen. What this
Sorry,
system
data.
variable contains?
Date.
Date,
System date.
system date. To use it like this, multiple options or multiple
Statement.
variables, we have to use chain operator. That is this. Okay. We have to use this symbol. Then we can include multiple. S5 uname. What is S5 uname? This is username.
System date. Username.
Current login username. You have to use this chain operator to include multiple. Check, activate, and execute. So first program, this is the system date, and this is the
And date
username.
and the username.
Username. But color is applied to only username because we have used color for only username. If you want it for all, color for like that. You have to use it like this. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? So this is how we create the program. If we go to attributes, you can find the program properties. Who created it? Who last changed it? What is the status of the program? What is the package? These things. I told you, right? For example, by mistake you assigned a wrong package. How can you do? How can you change the package? We have an option object dictionary entry. Where is it? This one. In go to menu,
Go to.
we have object dictionary entry. Here, change it and assign a new package name. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. This is about the basic program, how to create a basic program. Tomorrow onwards, we'll see more details like this, many statements, many keywords. types of data types, and data objects. What is variable, constant, work area, internal table? These are all the different data objects. We'll see all these things in the next session. Okay.